Okay, so let's move forward with our next session with Josley Andrades. I would like to welcome you to ATA GTR 2021, Josley. Currently, he is associated with AccelQ, which is one of the leading organizations when it comes to codeless automation and related features, functionalities, and exploration. He is on a mission to unite the testing community, and he keeps always himself busy leading the Q community, which is a global community of test automation enthusiasts. And currently, I think he's exploring on engineering part of the things, which I could get to see through his most of the LinkedIn posts. Today's topic, where he would be speaking on, is spice up your testing, gamify it out. So, with this small introduction, I think I would like to hand it over to Jesley. Over to you. Maybe you can get started.
Thank you so much. Let me just quickly share the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, maybe you can do the full screen. Yeah, all good. Please go ahead.
Okay. Welcome everyone. Today I'll be talking about spice up your testing, gamify it out. Of course, as per the introduction, it's not an engineering topic, but it's going to be really fun. And so I have selected this. So few things about me. I am a product evangelist at AccelQ. AccelQ is an AI-powered no-code test automation and test management platform. I also lead Q community, which is a community of test automation enthusiasts. I have over 14 years of experience, worked in companies like Cornerstone, JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, and Infosys. I'm also a certified AWS solutions architect and a certified agile leader. So let's get started and jump into the topic. So what is gamification? So gamification is the act of applying game-like characteristics to non-game situations in order to increase user interaction. So before we get into the specifics of gamification and deep of gamification, I'll just take you back a bit to history. So gamification started way back in 1896 with SNH green stamps, where the marketers sold stamps to the retailers to reward loyal customers. And with the success of it, in 1981, American Airlines started their frequent flyer program, and not far away in 1983, Holiday Inn launched their first loyalty program, hotel loyalty program, right? So the popularity of gamification went on increasing, and finally the term gamification was coined by Nick Pelling in the year 2003. One needs to understand that there is a vast difference between what we call as game and what we call as play, right? So game is something which is confined to a space and has a set of rules. But when you think of play, it is open-ended and has no rules. So if you see this quadrant, which I've divided into 4 quadrants, play as a whole, which is more like toys that children play with Lego blocks. So that is more sort of playing. Playing as parts, if you see an example which I've shown here, is of a musical staircase, right? So this is more towards a playful design, right? When it comes to gaming as a whole, we have serious games like flight simulators. The one that you see on the screen is more like doctors performing a surgery to give them training, right? So gamification is towards the gamification part, gaming, and the quadrant of gameful design. Okay. Uh, when we think of game and gamification, when we say game, it is we think of normally Mario, right? But games are basically to entertain, right? Of course, it will increase your motor skills, but when it comes to gamification, it is not game. It is more to engage and motivate, right? The only common thing that you see between game and gamification is the use of gamification elements like a leaderboard or a badge, etc. Right? So that is the prime difference between game and gamification. So as I talked about, gamification is not Candy Crush. Gamification is not Counter-Strike. Gamification is what you see on the screen. Most of the major players use gamification to increase interaction and engagement with their audience. Now, if you see LinkedIn, LinkedIn has an all-star profile. When you complete your complete profile, you get an all-star badge. That is subsequently a part of gamification to engage the person to complete his profile. You see the likes of Amazon, there is a rating to a book that is given, right? So it is more towards a concept of gamification where you're giving a review and persuading someone to buy this particular book, right? AWS launched recently AWS Bugfest, which is, to find out bugs within their products. right? And in fact, if you see, even Global Testing Retreat has their own leaderboard where they have a gamification concept where they want to engage the participants, taking selfies, putting posts, being a speaker. So the more you interact, the more you engage, the more you collaborate, you step up in the leaderboard. So these are some of the real-time examples of how gamification is applied and how useful this has been. So why gamification in testing? Now, testing is such a broad area. You test in all areas of DevOps, right? Be it in the dev section or the operations section, shift left, shift right. You have to be involved everywhere as a tester. And testing involves a lot of skills, right? It is not just about, you need to be you need to have bug advocacy skills. You need to learn to create tools. You need to learn to build automated checks. You need to know how to, log a defect. So there are a lot of skills that you have to learn when it comes to testing. And in all of these areas, you can intelligently apply gamification. So this is going to increase collaboration. It's going to increase your expertise into testing. It will bring and invite different perspectives into what you do. It will invite, of course, out-of-box thinking, and you never know when you introduce concepts of gamification, you may be also able to uncover unhidden bugs, right? And then we have, you get quicker responses when you apply gamification within your teams. And of course, it's also a good way of how you can, implement standard processes within your teams. So what are the gamification benefits of testers? They keep you motivated. It's an opportunity to reward and recognize your team members. Obviously helps to boost knowledge and retention. Testers get real-time feedback. It instills transparency, of course, increases productivity and morale. And yes, gamification is also a means to build healthy competition. So what are the numbers saying? This is a source from medium.org. It says 90% of the employees are more productive when we use gamification. 69% of the workers are more likely to stay with the company for 3+ years when their tasks are gamified. 72% of the people believe that gamification inspires them to work harder. And in fact, 95% of the employees enjoy using gamified systems. What is the market talking about gamification? You have seen the adoption of likes of American Airlines, Holiday Inn adopting gamification, and now gamification is almost everywhere. The market of gamification has increased and is predicted to increase to almost 30.7 USD billion by 2025, and that's how the popularity of gamification has increased in the recent years. And testing should not stay back from adopting these techniques. So let's quickly start off on a few things in terms of what are the gamification design steps. We all know about the W3H, which is the why, what, who, and how. So this is basically the 4Qs model of gamification, where anytime that you want to design your gamification, you need to ask these 4 questions. This is, why are you applying gamification? What is the goal of your gamification? What do you want people to do? What are the actions that you want them to do? Right? Who are you designing for? Who are the players? Whether it's testers, it is developers, it is the entire team, right? And how can you design the system to work and implement your gamification? So there are various game mechanics like badges, progress bars, leaderboards, and avatars that you see and come across in various gamification techniques. Now, it's not just about rewards when it comes to gamification. You always need to understand, to keep it more learning centric. What are the players or what are the users involved in the gamification going to get out of it? So this is something that you always need to keep in mind. So here are 5 simple steps to implement gamification. There's a good book, which is Gamification Work. You can grab a copy if you want to explore more into depth of gamification. But here are the highlights of that model, which are 5 simple steps to attain gamification. The first one is to know your player. It is basically important to understand the context. So for us in an example, the core of your gamification is going to be a tester. OK, so for example, if you want to implement gamification in testing, it is going to be a tester. The second part, or the outer ring, is more about identifying your mission. What is the outcome that you want to get from your gamification? For example, I've just kept it like, prepare a bug report isn't my outcome of the gamification that I want to apply it on, right? The third step is about understanding the human motivation behind playing the gamification, right? So you can have a lot of motivations when you implement gamifications within your teams. It could be learning, it could be curiosity, you want them to master a particular step, right? It could be instances. You want to, have a competition or a reward, like for example, a competition to write the best bug report, right? So understanding the human motivation behind introducing the gamification is very important. The fourth step is the mechanics. What are going to be the game rules? How are people going to play it? What is going to be the time span of the game, right? For example, I've just said that the bug report should complete in 6 hours, right? So these are the basic things that you see when you look at applying game mechanics, right? And the fifth step is about manage, monitoring, and measuring, right? So always it's important that, when someone is playing a game, you have to make sure that you're monitoring the progress. And of course, if possible, giving instant feedback. So this creates a kind of an engagement. Like you have been playing the quiz game right now, right? So you see the leaderboard, you see who is top of the rank, right? So that motivates you, that engages you, right? So the fifth step or the last step is more about managing, monitoring, and measuring. So an example, as I said, you monitor who has the best report, and then you announce them as a winner. So these are five simple steps when it comes to implementing gamifications. So uh, this is another model, when you're assigning rewards. So if you're having a community or if you're having a team, there are various ways of how you can set up the rewards applications, right? So the best part of this model is the SAPS model, which is called status, access, power, and stuff. So it's more about the status, which is the stronger aspect of it, which is indirectly cheaper, and the stuff part becomes a weaker reward application and it's costlier, right? So for example, when you take status, it's more about giving an expert status to someone in the community, or giving them an verified profile, or giving them badges, right? So this is more about when you reward someone, you want to give them that status. This is one good way of engaging someone in the gamification model. The other part is access. You're giving them access to some private courses or some exclusivity to some workshops, etc. Right? The next part is power, which is more about giving them moderator privileges in community groups, giving them an opportunity to do volunteer for conferences and events, right? So these are ways you can reward members in your team, members in your community. The last part is about stuff. It's like freebies, swags, money, and discounts. Of course, while these are costly, these are also ways of how you can reward using this apps model. Okay. So let's quickly get started and see how you can implement gamification using Jira. Now, this can be very useful when you want to conduct internal bugathons within your teams, or hackathons within your team, right? So if you're using Jira, how you can easily do it for free, right? So in this particular thing, the Jira has a dashboard, kind of a defects dashboard. You can create that defects dashboard. There are various gadgets that you can use, like a pie chart, right, to get the statistics of who logged what bug. Then there is, the concept of, the issue statistics, who logged what bug. You can get a quick graph, right? What you're seeing right now is the issue statistics and the pie chart, right? AQ admin has logged like 94 bugs. So these are good ways of how you can create your own dashboard. The another way is you can go into the Atlassian marketplace in Jira. So you have a free plugin. If you type gamification in the Atlassian marketplace, you will be able to see a free plugin, which is gamification for Jira. So go ahead and install this if you have Jiras. This is a good plugin that all of you can install if you're using Jiras, and use it to create and engage within your teams, right? So you load the plugin, you enable it, and then this plugin is very useful in terms of setting up any internal hackathons or internal gamifications within your team. So if you see here, you get the Jira score points, you get the user ratings of who did what in like last week, last 30 days, all time. You get what all bugs that have been logged, the rating of that particular user. You can also give the user badges. This will create a kind of engagement within your teams, right? So you can set up a lot of achievements within the Jira itself, right? Set up batches. You can add your own batches, create interesting batches so that it creates an engagement. You can set up bug bounty points, like how many points someone would get and how you can accelerate in terms of the levels as you move up the leaderboard. So these are all the good things that you could do using the particular Jira add-on. I'll share the links towards the end of the talk. But yes, this is one thing of how you can implement gamification using Jira. The next part is testing challenges. If you're taking testing interviews, this is a very good site, which is testing challenges. The links I will also share, and you can go to my bit.ly link where you'll get this website link. So this is about more about applying gamification to gauge testing concepts. So whenever you're taking interviews, this is one good challenge that you can give give the person who's coming for an interview to test his testing concept. So this specifically is a simple page which is asking you to test the first name field, right? And what all processes that you can do in terms of testing this field, like checking for empty value, checking for spaces, checking for special characters, checking for an impact of XSS attacks, right? Scripting attacks, etc. Leaving space at the start, leaving space at the end, leaving space in between, using alphanumeric characters. So there are around 18 odd checks that you can perform here, which this website allows you to do. So you can also use some of these while you take interviews, or to test your onboarding and testing training, to see how a person is thinking, how a person is behaving. Right, in one of my projects, and during taking interviews, I normally use induce bugs in the framework and ask the person coming for an interview to actually debug that framework, right? So you really know that the person is hands-on when you ask them to debug a particular framework. So you can create some of these shorter things within your projects, right? You can induce defects in your framework and ask the person to debug it. So you know that that person really has hands-on and not just bookish knowledge, right? So the other part is, if you want to hone your coding skills, this is a nice website, which is codinggames.com, right? Where, you can learn about different programming languages, C, C++, and whatnot, right? You can check your coding skills. It's more about making it really interactive, where you code and, program so that you can kill these bots that you see on the screen, right? So this is one good website, which is codinggame.com, which you can go and try out and test and get engaging and involved in your coding. The other one is Code Defenders. This is more to hone your unit testing skills. So you get a particular class under test, then you have to run your unit test. It could be JUnit, right? And then you can assert all your validations and check your unit testing skills capabilities. So this is also one good website, which is Code Defenders, which will help you out. You can also introduce gamification to learn security testing. This website, which is xssgame.export, is something that you can use to hone security testing skills. So these are good challenges which you can use. The first one asks me to inject a script, or a JavaScript alert. So this is how you can crack this particular challenges. And if you are into security, or if you want to test someone's security knowledge, you could create some of these challenges or give them some of these practical examples or challenges to make it interesting in an interview, or even within your teams, to engage them to learn some of these concepts, right? So this one is more about injecting a pop-up alert, and as you progress and as you are able to crack this particular levels, you move to the next level. So you can introduce some sort of gamifications, in these aspects as well. So as we know, like 54% of the new hires are highly productive because of gamified onboarding, and it's very essential that we do not forget when you're onboarding new hires, to keep them engaged, to keep them going, keep them focused towards learning, right? So one of the best examples of gamification in learning is the Test Automation University. They have elaborate ways of how you can engage. They have a leaderboard showing the top 100. They have batches. They have avatars. As you progress a level, you get a different avatar. They have various learning paths that you can see. Then they have various certifications that you can get, right? So this keeps someone very much engaged in taking the learning courses. And it is not necessary that you should create an exhaustive onboarding program for your teams, but you can definitely use some of the concepts which are used in Test Automation University to implement it in your project and create learning boards, give your own internal certificates or give them recognition for completing a particular course. So these are the things you can implement in your onboarding exercises as well within your teams. Right. The next best example is Testing Spheres card. This is by Ministry of Testing, a very good gamification technique in terms of using cards to interact and learn in the process. So, for example, this is a strangling pattern card to understand what it is, brainstorming within your teams, exchanging ideas, exchanging experiences. So Testing Spheres cards game is also a very good way of interacting. So even if you don't have these cards, if you really want to engage your team in some specific domain related concepts, have cards there with you. Use sticky notes and try to interact and use these concepts of Testing Sphere cards. The next one, this was shared with me by Ajay. So this is also an excellent way of how you can test your visual testing skills. So this is a website called Can't Unsee, where you have two pictures and you need to compare which one is just a second, which one is which one is visually correct. So this is a good way of how you can compare your visual testing skills. So go ahead and try this out, which is Can't Unsee website. Next ways of getting immediate product feedback is through hackathons, through crowd testing. We recently conducted the AccelQ automation hackathon 1.0 and 2.0. The major intention was more towards how our practitioners are using the product, how what feedback we are getting from them, how easy it is for them to adopt to the tool. So these are the ways you can have hackathons and induce the gamification element to get feedback, right? So our intention for the first hackathon was more towards getting the learning curves and adoption of our product. So what we did was we analyzed the users participating in the hackathon, and we were able to figure out that almost 80% of the people were able to finish the hackathon challenges between in under 8 hours, right? So which gave us a little bit of a confidence in terms of understanding our user usage of the product and their adoption to the project. So you can use gamification concepts as well in terms of hackathons or giving it for crowd testing so that you can get bugs in a very short period of time. So these are good ways of how you can include gamification concepts. Focusizing the traditional Scrum method is also a gamification technique for user story estimations, where the team members, put in their effort that they will take for the particular user story. What is the effort that they will take or story points that they will estimate, right? So they raise up the card and then they brainstorm and discuss more in terms of what should be the best effort or what should be the best estimate for that story. So this is nothing but a gamification technique indirectly. So another thing you can induce to learn testing concepts is the testing puzzles. So this one is from QA/QC Arena. Yogesh runs a lot of contest and competitions with regards to puzzles out there. So you can also, if you want to engage your people in teams to learning, you can introduce these testing puzzles. In online, it's you can get free, readily available puzzle creators where you give the question and the answer, and it automatically creates this testing puzzles for you. So you can use these testing puzzles to engage your users or engage your members in the team to learn a particular concept. The last one is more on risk storming. This is also a free tool, which is more about how you can do risk analysis and define your quality strategy. So say, for example, I say the quality aspect I'm looking at in terms of is security and permission. So what could be the risk involved in that particular quality aspect, which is exposure to PII data, right? And then I try to map it up with what is the strategy that I can use to prevent this particular exposure to PII data. So like OAPs, social engineering, etc. And you can brainstorm. Now you could use this tool, or you could use such kind of techniques and gamification mechanisms which can make testing more fun within your projects to do risk analysis using some of these strategies, right? So to end it, gamification is 75% psychology and 25% technology. A few tips for testing teams is one thing, you need to make sure you are having shorter cycles so that if new members are joining the game, they don't feel left out, right? So if you have been running a gamification in a team for quite some time, break it up into shorter cycles so that if a new member is joining your team, they can still participate and have a chance to win. So keep shorter cycles, start in small steps, don't go very spectacular and big, observe, retrospect, and revise your steps. Keep rewards not always monetary, keep something which is difficult to get, like, a lunch with the CEO could be one interesting reward that you can keep in your organizations, right? So this is something which someone will strive to do well and, get that reward. So emphasize more on quality versus quantity. Again, don't keep awards like for the fastest bug logged or the number of bugs logged, right? Always focus on what is the quality that you're getting from your gamification that you will apply. So give rapid instant feedback. So even in a gamification, if your intent is of learning or something else, give immediate feedback in terms of certifications, in terms of a scorecard, in terms of a leaderboard. So ensure to keep rapid and instant feedback. Create a proper rules and structure. So you need a better planning for bigger teams. Then whenever you're introducing gamifications, don't think you want to make it really very difficult for everyone. So the engagement level goes down, right? So you need to have a right balance of difficulty level when you set up a gamification. So you can start with an easy level and then progressively go to a difficult level. So have that balance between ability and motivation, right? And of course, involve everyone in the team, right? The more you involve everyone, this activity of gamification becomes really very nice and enjoyable. So that's all from my side. So let's make gamification in testing and take it to the next level in 2020. Hope you found this presentation useful. You could take some insights back to your teams and see how you can make this valuable. So that's about it from my side. You can connect to me on LinkedIn or Twitter, and the links of all that I have shared on the website is here, which is bit.ly GOGTR21. You can go ahead and get the list of all the games that I have shown that you can use in your teams here. So catch hold of this link. And yeah, thank you so much to the team at Agile Testing Alliance for this wonderful opportunity, and hope you enjoy the rest of Global Testing Retreat. Thank you.
Superb. You are on time, and yes, it is indeed useful. And many of us would like to make use of these techniques in our day-to-day way of working. Especially being into the Scrum Master, Agile Coach kind of a role, I understand like how much importance gamification has to have the right balance in between fun-based way of working, and at the same time we are giving the maximum when it comes to productivity, effectiveness, and efficiency. So yeah, I really liked all the content, the flow of the content, and yeah, it was really insightful, Jocelyn. Yeah,
Thank
I
you so
cannot
much.
see. Yeah, good. Okay, I cannot see any questions as such. So I would like to request everyone, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them into the chat conversation. I can see one comment from Rahul saying that gamification and game storming has been an important arsenal for developers. And I'm glad that we talk it for testers too.
Absolutely.
One quick question maybe I can ask you, Jocelyn, that how you find a right balance in between both the things, not impacting the focus, commitment, and delivery part of it, and at the same time, team should have this kind of feeling that they are making fun and they are not doing boring work
Right.
on a daily basis. How to
Right.
balance?
So anything, when you're implementing, even if you're going without the gamification aspect, you still have to apply some approach to doing stuff. Like, for example, risk analysis or estimations, right? So why not do it in the fun way, right? So that at least, the team stays engaged, right? Even for the concept of learning, right? You anyways have to learn, right? So why impose something on someone when you can anyways make it fun, right? So I agree. Yes, the deliveries time span is slow, but the moment you try to adopt this as a culture, it really gets very variable, right? And you will enjoy in the process. The productivity will level up. You don't get bored by it. You feel like coming to work, right? So I'll just give an experience of in my team. I used to keep something special every Fridays, and then all of a sudden I stopped doing that. So the team came up to me and asked me, hey, why there is no fun Friday today, right? So you create that culture in the team, and they start to enjoy that, and that makes work really fun, and it's all about people when you work in a team and enjoy. So I really see a lot of benefit. You might be applying a lot of techniques, but yes, if you apply a little bit of a gamification to that, it will definitely give you a lot of good results.
Certainly. In fact, in our organization also, we make use of techniques like liberating structures and
Exactly.
Shark Tank. I hope you
Awesome.
might have heard about that, right?
Correct.
So that certainly helps. One question which is coming from Sanjeev, he is asking you how gamification can help in learning and training.
Okay, so like I said, right, and I showed you the example also of the Test Automation University, right? So they recently celebrated 100K users on their platform. Now, all of this is more about interaction. How you're trying to motivate a learner into it, right? When someone is joining, even in the testing craft, recently as well, BrowserStack announced their testing university as well. So all of them have implemented some sort of gamification there, and there is real value in that. Right, because it attracts learners to that module. There is the kind of enthusiasm. Hey, what am I going to get after a learning certificate, right? So if you impose, hey, do the regular yearly certifications that we have for the harassment certificates and all, we normally get bored by it, right? Because there is no element of fun there, and you are imposed to do that. But there is a different scenario when you add some sort of a reward or some sort of an engagement program to it, right? That engages the learning experience, and you can make your users learn what you want, right? So even if you have some specific things in your domain that you want them to learn, you can always acknowledge that. We had in the way back when I started with Infosys, we had a practice to write documents, and we had the best blog poster of the month, and they used to get points. So that was really fun, and our name used to come in the newsletters, right? So that's how it motivated us to learn, explore, write, blog. So yeah, this is how you can engage them. And yes, with gamification, of course, it is fun. Like I'm seeing the fun that we are having with the Agile testing TTR leaderboard as well. We had this blogathon contest and the speaker contest, and I see the enthusiasm that is there. So of course, this is going to create a lot of learning opportunities, and it will boost, not just in your teams, but in anything that you want to do and engage your audience. Gamification always helps. So hope I was able to answer that.
Yeah, certainly. Maybe I would like to ask others who are not speaking to please go on mute. Okay, so by looking at the time, I think we are almost on the time, 3:20 it is, and we need to start with the next session. But before we jump on to that, I would like to give a big thanks to you, Jeosley, for joining today, for sharing all those wonderful techniques. I should call them as add-ons, because we are doing things and then we should have some more things to add, more floors in it to make the things more spicy and enjoyable, right? So let's make use of gamification. And then, yeah, thanks again for sharing those wonderful insights, Jocelyn. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.